Okay, so I was on my walk this morning and I was trying to think of a good YouTube video to make, and it dawned on me. I don't know about you. Please feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know your experiences. But I noticed for myself, the reason why it was so hard for me to level up when I first tried was because I was surrounding myself with leveled down people. And what do I mean by that? I don't want you to think I'm trying to talk down on people, but I was around people who had limiting mindsets. I was around people who didn't think highly of themselves. I was around people who were just kind of cool with living their life day by day. No real goals, no real plans. Like if you asked them what they wanted to do in the next 5 years, they didn't know, right? I was around people who, even though they hated their job, they were complacent with it. Even though they didn't like their financial situation, they were good right where they're at. And the thing that I didn't realize that I know now today is birds of a feather flock together, and the apple does not fall too far from the tree. You are a reflection of the five people that you talk to the most. And if your circle is not working on self development, they're not working towards a goal, they're not trying to be their highest self, they're not glowing up, then it is going to be detrimental to your glow up. And I had heard those phrases before, but I never really believed them to be too much truth, right? I just kind of felt like, well, they can do what they want to do and I can do what I want to do and I'll still be able to make it work, right? I'll still be able to get to the level I want to be at because I'm focused on me. And even though that mindset was great and all, I realized that's not really how it goes. Because let me give you some examples. When I first started my content creation journey, right, I was so excited. I was getting on Instagram. I was building more confidence in myself because at first I used to be camera shy. Like, I was so worried what people were going to think, say, what kind of negative comments people were going to leave. So I was already working through that, right? And so here I am showing up, being more confident every single day. And I would say things to my friends at the time, like, you guys, look, my Instagram just hit 5K followers, or look, this post just got 1K reels, like, or 1K views. Like, I was just so excited about these milestones that I was reaching in my content journey. And there was never any real applause. There was never really any positive feedback. It was always responses like, oh, you finally decided to cover up. Oh, you finally decided to wear that makeup. I don't know if I like that lipstick. Oh, so you did decide to use that wig. I don't think I would have went with that wig. I think I would have done this wig color. It was literally stuff to kind of make me second guess myself. Like, I can't even make this up. And they were kind of like backhanded compliments. I will never forget my Instagram. I hit 10K followers, and I was telling one of my friends about it. And she was like, oh, my friend has 15,000 followers. She's been doing it for X amount of years. Just completely disregarded what I said about my Instagram. Like, completely ignored it, didn't comment about the milestone, nothing. Just immediately went into what her quote unquote friend had. Literally. And I realized I can't continue to hang around people like that. I cannot continue to have friendships with people who are not congratulating me, which is craziness because the minute they would reach a milestone and whatever they were doing, right? Even if they just had a business idea and they decided to share that idea with me, I was the friend that was always applauding them, like, oh my God, you could do it. Like, I believe in you. I'm going to be your first customer. Let me know when your website is up. I'm going to share it. Like, I was that friend. I was that friend. But the minute I need support, the minute I want some recognition, some credit, some celebration, it's crickets. You can't surround yourself with people like that when you're trying to get to the next level. Something else that I noticed my friends were doing is now I'm trying to become more disciplined. I had a drinking problem and I was trying not to drink anymore. I wanted to let go of alcohol, and I did. I haven't had alcohol in 4 years. But when I was first trying to stop drinking, right, my friend had invited me to happy hour. And at the time, I just didn't want to be around anything that might pull me back into my old ways, which was being a heavy drinker. So I decided that I didn't want to go because I knew people were going to be drinking and I wasn't going to drink. And I just didn't want to be around that environment, right? Like, I was just really trying to lock in on sobriety. And I was like, I think I'm going to sit this one out. She said, why? Because you're trying not to drink? And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to, change my life. I don't want to be drinking anymore, yada, yada, yada. And she literally said, wow. And I was like, what? She was like, nothing. You're just really changing. Like, you can still come. Like, what? And I was like, yeah, but again, I don't want to be tempted. She just said, wow, again. Then it was crickets. And then I was like, hello, you still there? And she was like, well, I'll just talk to you later. And it was like a very subtle energy that just made me feel uncomfortable. It was kind of like, is she mad? Like, is she good? Like, did I say something wrong? And so the next day I texted her and I was like, how was happy hour? Who all ended up going? No response. No response. No response. I did not get a response from her until several days later. And then she was like, oh, sorry, just now seeing this. And it was good. Very passive aggressive. And these are the things that I'm talking about. When you are trying to level up, when you're trying to improve yourself, and you are around people who are leveled down, they're not really, they got ideas of things that they might want to do, but they're really not putting one foot in front of the other. They're really not trying to get it done. It will be detrimental to your process because they will literally have you thinking to yourself and have you questioning if what you're doing is great. They'll literally have you second guessing yourself. And why do you want to be around that energy? Why do you want to be around people who don't want to celebrate you, who don't want to say anything positive about you, who will not applaud you for reaching milestones with your goals, with whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether you're trying to start a business, go back to school, change careers, lose weight? Like, why? Why? Because they're not on the same path as you. And I know from my own experience, like I was the person who struggled with letting people go. I would try so hard. I would fight for the friendship just because I didn't want to let them go. I no longer do that. Like when it's time to let somebody go, you just let them go. But at the time, I was that person. I was always just trying to make it work, but it never would work. And the amount of energy that I would exert in trying to keep people happy, trying to maintain the peace, trying to basically shrink myself to make someone else comfortable is draining. It's draining, and that energy that I was exerting into trying to fix these friendships that weren't really friendships, I could have been pouring into myself and making myself better, making myself feel better about myself, right? But I wasn't. And this is why I keep telling you guys, you have to get around people who are on the same type of time as you. And if you don't know people like that, well, then I need you to get comfortable being by yourself. You are going to have to spend time by yourself. And some people might say, well, that's going to be lonely. Well, it's even more lonelier being around people who don't even celebrate you. It's even more lonelier being around people who won't even tell you good job. It's even more lonelier, or it's even more lonelier being around people who act like they don't see that you're really trying, like you're really doing something and trying to make you feel bad for it. That's lonely. Those aren't your friends. That's not your tribe. That is not your tribe. And I know it sucks, it hurts, but look, when you're trying to glow up, it just is what it is. And you got to let people go. And it sucks. It hurts. Honestly, I feel like friendship breakups hurt more than relationship breakups to an extent, right? Because it's like you thought you would have these friends in your corner and they're not in your corner. Or you thought that they would celebrate you and support you the way you do them, and they're not doing that. And it hurts. It makes you feel bad. It sucks, but it's true. And, reflecting back on these quote-unquote friendships, I'm actually happy that I did let them go. Because just imagine if I spent, more years trying to fix friendships that just weren't meant to be fixed. Just imagine if I kept shrinking myself just to make other people comfortable. Would I even be where I am today? Would I even be as confident as I am today? Probably not, because when you're around people who make you feel insecure, you become insecure. You can't grow, you can't develop, you can't fix yourself because you're around people who keep trying to bring your energy down. It sucks, but you have to let it go. And I promise you, you will end up attracting new friendships with people who are on your type of time, who know how to celebrate you, who are also working towards goals too, so they don't feel any type of inferiority, right? The reason why people act that way, the reason why people don't want to celebrate you is because you remind them of everything that they're not. You remind them of everything that they're not, and it's uncomfortable for them. You're a mirror. You are a reflection of everything that they're not doing in their own life. And then they see you showing up even when it's hard. They see you getting results. They see you, stepping into a new version of yourself. You're not talking about it, but you're actually doing it. That's intimidating to someone who's leveled down, to someone who doesn't see their own greatness, to someone who has goals, but they're too afraid to even work towards it. That's intimidating as hell. And they don't like the fact that they have to look up to you. So they bring you down. They play with your head. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they're doing this consciously. Like, I don't know if they necessarily wake up and they're like, I'm going to fuck with her head today, right? But they're definitely doing it on a subconscious level. And a lot of times people aren't even aware of what they're doing. A lot of people, they don't even have the emotional intelligence to understand what it is that they're doing, right? And that's fine. They don't have to, but you need to. And so when someone starts to make you feel like that, it is time to let that person go. It is time to distance yourself from them because there's no growth there. You're not going to be able to grow and elevate when you have people continuously bringing down your energy, making you feel bad about yourself because you're changing. You're supposed to change. You should be evolving every single day. Every single day you should be working on being a better version than you were yesterday. So maybe yesterday you hit snooze on your alarm. Today you're not. Maybe yesterday you walked 5K steps. Today you're going to walk 6K. Maybe yesterday you recorded one video. Today you're going to record 2. You should always be working towards being a greater version of yourself. You're supposed to change. And honestly, I think that's a compliment. When people say things like, oh, you've changed, I say, good. I'm supposed to. You haven't, right? And I think anybody who's been on a glow up journey will tell you it's somewhat lonely. You don't think it's going to be lonely, or you don't think it's going to happen to you. Like, you think your friends are going to be with you to forever, to the day you die. But that's not true, especially when you start stepping into a new version of yourself. And so now, today, the version that I am today, I don't tolerate being in relationships with people who don't celebrate me. If you tell me something that you achieved and I'm hyping you up, cheering you on, telling you got this, I'm so proud of you, and then when I tell you that I did something, I just get a confetti, or you want to respond 2 days later and act like you didn't see my text, that's what we're doing. Those are the games we're going to play. You're going to play them by yourself. You're not going to play them with me. I'm not doing it. No. We're just not going to be friends because I see where you're at. You're leveled down, you're insecure, and I'm evidently a mirror to everything that you're not, and it's making you uncomfortable. But it's not my job to make you comfortable, and I'm not going to shrink myself and make myself feel less than just to make you feel up. You should be working on yourself internally so that when you do see somebody elevating, glowing up, it doesn't intimidate you. That's a them problem, not you. But again, if you don't distance yourself from people like that, they will literally have you questioning your own greatness to the point where you start shrinking yourself. And then you don't even achieve the goal that you want to achieve because you're so busy trying to fit in to something that you can't fit into. So this is what happens when you glow up. This is what happens when you decide to elevate your life. It just comes with the territory. Every time you want to get something, I tell you all this all the time, anytime you want to get something, it's going to require you to give up something. And a lot of times, you're going to be giving up past relationships. Not everybody can come with you. And it is what it is. Okay? Hope this video helps. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Is there anything that you experience in your own glow-up journey? People acting funny, treating you differently, saying slick things? Let me know. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.